The Trump administration has just arrested the father of a deployed Navy sailor. So the individuals at issue are named Luis Aviles, who's currently detained, and his son, Joshua Aviles, who's currently deployed fighting for us in Iran. There's a lot reporting about this case, and I tried to read as many articles as I could, and also DHS statements and Joshua's own statements on Facebook to try to recreate what could be their immigration history. Some of this might be wrong in the future, but for now, at very least, it's educational and it might help people with similar fact patterns. So this is what's being reported. First, Luis Avilas came 20 years ago into the United States in between ports of entry from Nicaragua. Nicaragua is right now going through a lot of political persecution, specifically against religious Catholics. A few years after he came into the United States, he gave birth to his eldest son, whose name is Joshua. Joshua joined the Navy and is currently deployed. He's very young. If you look at the pictures being reported, he's probably 18 or 19. You can tell by his uniform. It's like an E1 to E3 uniform, very young looking. This is important because he's definitely, for sure, under the age of 21. The final thing that we can also report is that Joshua mentioned that his father has a social security card and work authorization. So that limits really the only pathways that he could get to get those documents and get a green card. More than likely, one of two things has happened. One, his son applied for military parole in place, maybe some deferred action, and they're ignoring the deferred action part of it. And they've decided to detain him and put him in removal proceedings, despite the fact that he has this benefit that is given to military members. He may have gotten military parole in place, but because his son is under the age of 21, they couldn't finish that process because his son could not file the petition. Military parole in place is great. It gives you a valid entry, a fictional valid entry, but it works. And it can give you deferred action, which in theory should lead to him not being in removal proceedings at all. And in the end, once you have a petitioner that's over the age of 21, then you can get a green card and maybe even become a US citizen. But like I said, his son is not 21 yet. The second possible avenue is that he has filed for an affirmative asylum application, and that's how he's basing his work authorization. Now, the problem with that is that he entered the country 20 years ago, so this is going to be a very, very late filing or a filing based on changed circumstances, which is allowed if something definitive has happened to you, something that has changed in you that now makes it dangerous for you to go back to Nicaragua. One of the main ways that somebody can change circumstances, specifically for Nicaragua, is to claim a devout Catholic conversion, because right now they're persecuting Catholics in Nicaragua. So if he had a devout Catholic conversion in the United States maybe a year ago and applied for asylum, he would have gotten work authorization and had a pending asylum application, which currently a lot of people with pending asylum applications are being targeted and sent to immigration court. So one of those two avenues have probably resulted in him getting work authorization and leading him to immigration court under this administration. Thanks for listening. If you want to see more on this, including a full article and sources, go to The Migration on Substack.